All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 37 of the Michelle and Tony Show. Today, I am here with one of our most prominent guests on this show, Nwafor Stephen. Thank you so much for coming back. It's great to have you back on the show, man.
Thank you again for having me on this show. I love this show. I love it.
Actually, I also love this show, man. Okay, so without wasting time, today we are going to be going into like a topic that has been not that I won't say it has been on everybody's mind, but it's just like this kind of ghost that is just lingering through the faculty and unique now because exam is around the corner and
Yeah.
everybody's pressured. And I was like, I have to
Mm,
we need to talk about this shit. So
yeah.
today's topic is basically what exams actually are. Are they a test of knowledge or are they just pressure games? Are they just things that won't
Yeah.
actually benefit in the long run? Or like today we're just
Yeah.
going to be looking at it from every single angle possible, right?
Yeah.
So let me just get your take first off. Like,
My take.
what is your take on this exam of a thing?
Question here is whether exam is a test of knowledge or whether it's a pressure game.
Yeah,
Ah, there's a lot of perspectives you have to consider in
yeah.
this kind of talk. It just everything. It depends. You can't give a direct answer. It
Mm,
depends. Okay, generally, if we are going to if we are speaking generally for like a substantial amount of people in UNEC,
mm,
maybe from just my observation,
yeah.
you grab is sort of a pressure game for people who are not serious. Wait,
Okay.
wait, wait, no. First, you have to define the terms.
Exactly. Yeah,
Let's
I love
define the
that. Yeah,
terms
let's
because
let's
if
divide the terms. Yeah, yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, test of what do you mean by test of knowledge?
Like test of knowledge, basically, like let me just give it in the most basic and simplest form ever. Whether a person is dumb or smart.
Yeah,
I'm not going to make use of that. Whether a person is dumb or smart. Like that is what I'm using as test of knowledge. Then pressure game. Pressure game is basically is it just something that will actually matter in the long run, or if you're good at handling pressure, memorizing and all those things,
mm,
you're going to skim your way through. Then for test of knowledge, we are now talking about the skills that you need to pass an exam, memorizing, cramming, handling pressure and all those things. Now we're now asking, okay, are they going to be scalable in the real world? Like when you go outside there in the real world now, with these skills you need to pass an exam,
yeah,
are they actually going to help you to thrive and survive outside there in the real world? So that is basically the whole context of it now. Knowledge, test of knowledge, basically smart or dumb.
dumb.
Pressure games, the skills needed to pass an exam, right? This memorizing, cramming,
Yes,
all
and
those
then the
things now.
central question:
Exactly.
whether it will help you in
Will it
the
help
real
you in
world.
the real world or just to pass the exam?
Okay, first of all, whether it's a test of knowledge.
Mm.
Hell no, bro. Hell no. These exams in the University of Nigeria,
Yeah.
most especially law, the
Mm.
fact that we're studying law, most people, if not all, are smart.
Yeah.
All law students, smart people. But it's the people who they are intelligent. Let me use they are intelligent. That's smart. The word smart. Let's use whether they're dumb or intelligent. They are intelligent. But you have to be smart to be able to like thrive or do excellently
Yeah.
in the exams, the law exams, bro.
Yeah.
Because I've I've gone around, I've asked questions to senior colleagues, and everything they are saying just points out that it's not about being intelligent, it's about being smart. And spoken to like first class law students,
Mm.
mostly in final year, and they are like, it's about being smart, not about intelligence. Because there's a lot of intelligent people, they can read, they will read and engulf a lot of knowledge, they will cram so much, they will pour it in exams, but they are not. It's about being smart. What being smart means, how do you craft your answers in a way that will captivate the lecturer?
Mm.
It takes smarts to be able to do that, not intelligence. Intelligence, you can hold your book, you read it, okay, you understand it, but you not understand the way you are meant to answer a particular question.
Mm.
Like, how do I put it? You can give you a question on something, you may just like, based on the fact that you have read it, you may just give them what you have read. But like,
Yes.
there's one particular thing a lecturer is find it, like he wants to hear.
And to get it, you have to be smart,
You have to be
not
smart,
intelligent.
not intelligent.
Hmm.
So it's not a test of knowledge. It's about a test of. It's a test of whether
Okay.
you are smart or
Okay.
not.
Now, saying that it is not a test of knowledge. Now, I personally I agree with you, but like the truth is that society does not agree, right? Society terms so society will judge you based on how high or low your GP is. Society will judge you
Yeah,
based on how many A's you're getting or F's you're
yeah,
getting. So like if let's say now if you're standing in the same room with a person that his GP is 5.0 and
yes,
your GP is 2.5, now by default you
yes.
think that this person
He's
now
smarter
is smarter
than
than you.
you. Yeah,
But like being this person that is very very like I know how to like analyze and construct things very very well in my mind. Like there is a chance, there is a like no like there is every chance that that person with the lower GP
yes,
is actually smarter than him. Okay, there's this thing that somebody sent in one of the reviews that I'm still going to read on this show. He
yeah.
said that if you judge a fish by its ability to climb the tree, he will spend the rest of his life thinking it's stupid, right? So
Yeah.
so one very important thing that I did to myself and I advise everyone to do to themselves is find what you are just naturally good at. Now if
Yes.
you're like the thing about being naturally good at something is you first have to be very bad at it, then you
Yes.
now go to okay, quite okay, then you now go to very good at it. Mhm.
Yes.
So just discover your like there are 10 types of intelligence, right?
Yes.
I know like I can grade myself on the 10 types of intelligence. Like
Yeah.
you need to have this level of self-awareness. I have creative intelligence, I
Yeah.
have strategic intelligence, I have some kind of intelligence, but like then when it now comes to academic intelligence, I won't say that that one is over the roof, but I'll say that
Yeah.
I'm just like average. But at
Yeah.
the same time, even if society will judge me on my GP, I won't
Yes.
judge myself on my GP because
Exactly.
I know my value and I know where I can offer value. Maybe I
Yes.
can't offer much value on an exam sheet, but I know
Yeah.
that if they put me out there in the real world, in an industry, in a company, whatever, I can actually offer real
Some
value.
value.
Figure out.
Know about what you put on that
Yeah,
piece of paper
yeah,
for
it's
that
not so
exam.
like I think everybody needs to know their type of intelligence because if you don't know where you stand, right, society is going to tell you that you are dumb
Yes.
for not passing an exam.
Exactly.
And that kind of thing it can actually cause a very big amount of low self-esteem because trust
For
me, I
real.
have basically been on that boat of like thinking that okay, if I'm not able to pass an exam,
Then
I'm dumb, I'm a failure, and I'm
yeah.
which is not, it's not the best way to go about thinking because if you go about thinking like that, man, your whole future is basically
You
like
shut down.
shut down.
Man.
Okay, like now I want to ask you, okay, what do you think now? Like let's say you were to advise that me that used to think that okay, my self-worth is determined by
Grades.
A's and grades and all those things. Now,
Yes.
what advice can you tell someone like that?
Well, advice. Keep putting effort. Keep putting
Yes.
in the work. Going from what the world uses to judge people by is by your grades, and that is something we cannot change. It's set, it's fixed.
Mm,
But like on a personal scale, when you know that, man, I put so much work in preparing for these exams and maybe you didn't get the grade that you wanted,
yeah.
it doesn't, it shouldn't be a defining factor to make you like lose all your confidence, lose all your momentum, and just get depressed. Because I've been on that same boat as you said.
Yeah.
Like I think maybe one of these law exams I didn't write well from my own thoughts,
Perspective.
from my own perspective. Felt like I didn't write well. Like bro, I wanted to shut down. Like low key, I started calling like my people to get some because I'm the kind of person where if I going through something that I know I can't like I can't get a solution for myself. It's just if I'm thinking I'm going to overthink and there's no positive answer that will come out.
Yeah.
I have to reach out, I have to open up.
Yeah.
And you have to open up to people who you can trust, not just random
And
people
just
you
one of
get.
people, yeah.
So I called home and they started giving me my pops just gave me simple advice that bro, that's the way it's going to be. Look forward. Even if whatever happens on that exam, forget it. It's just a distraction. It is a distraction that's just going to occupy your mind instead of you to look forward on what is ahead and then plan on how you're going to like dominate the future
Yes,
rather
you
than
now
what.
be overly focused on the
No, because
past.
it's a distraction, bro.
It's a
Is it
distraction, yeah.
like the thing was it was that was what was happening to me before I called him. Like he was just ringing on my mind over time. I'll just be doing something, I'll just remember it, I'll just enter a mode of overthinking. But like when I called him, just gave me that. Then after that, when the thoughts came, eventually you can't chase away the thoughts, but you
Mm.
can decide on whether to like
Think
allow
about
them
it.
to like
Like allow the thoughts to overwhelm you
overwhelm you,
or
or you
shut it
can
down.
just chase them away. There are voices. There's always going to be
Yeah, there's
voices.
always going to be
So
voices.
when the voices came, I knew them. I know that okay, it's you. I recognize the voice, and I know that you're just a negative voice.
Yeah.
I pushed it away, and I listened to the positive voice that okay, this one didn't work. Is there another one coming? The answer yes. Work towards making sure you do exceptionally well in that next challenge or whatever test.
Yeah, I mean, I really love that advice from your dad. Like that advice he gave you, it was first of all, even if you didn't tell me it was from your dad, I'll know that that advice is coming from a man.
Yeah,
Because there's this unique way men think that I
yeah.
love, and is this same thing your dad said about just focus on what's ahead, man. Like just focus on. Honestly, I love that advice. Just focus
Focus,
on what's ahead,
bro, because
because like what has
has
happened,
happened.
and the painful thing is that you can't do shit about it.
Yeah,
But it doesn't mean that you are doomed, because
bingo.
there's still a future ahead. Now, if you plan and work towards that future now, you have hope. But if you
Yeah,
don't, that is now when you are truly doomed.
doomed.
It's not what happened in the past, it's how you respond to
Born to
what
the
happened in the past. That is now what
yeah.
determines whether okay, you are going to
Good
get there
to
or you are not going to get there.
get there.
Now, another this question that I would love to get your own perspective on is, do you think like people should write exam with pressure? I mean, like just
Mm.
understand the angle I'm coming from. Now, I
Yeah.
like maybe you might say yes, that no, sorry, maybe like the answer I'm expecting,
Mm.
like the common answer I expect is no, because
Mm.
it's not good to write things with pressure, and pressure will do
Yeah.
this and pressure will do that. But at the same time, pressure. Somebody said something one time that it was so fucking nice.
Pressure.
Say, pressure creates diamonds, and
Yeah.
and like and like and
Bloody
like and like
yes.
you tend to perform better
Better
when
under pressure.
under pressure.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. Personally, I'm not asking because you. I'm just like asking because personally I don't even know. Like,
Yes.
should a person write exam with or without pressure?
My take on this is, bro, it depends on how you perceive pressure. Feel me? The way you see pressure
Ooh,
is the defining factor here. Some people see pressure as they run away from pressure. You feel me?
yeah,
But like your exams, guys, like the current thing, you can't run away from your exams. So the pressure is coming. There are people who see exams. Exam is pressure.
yeah,
They see pressure as an opportunity. They like when pressure meets them, the reaction is excitement. It's an opportunity for you to like to test your ability.
mm,
You feel me?
mm,
If now there are people you can prepare for an exam, there are people who so prepare for an exam, they are so ready, they are so confident, and they will be like, bro, bring that exam script, put it in front of me, let me show you who I am, that kind of thing.
yeah, yeah.
But there are people who are shaking the pressure, they are running away from it. I would say it depends on how you see pressure,
Oh, I see
honestly.
pressure.
But like the thing is, pressure is good. I love pressure. These days I seek pressure because without pressure, bro, you ain't going nowhere. You
Yeah,
feel me? Because exactly what you say. The Bible says that before gold can become that valuable form, it has to go through the burning furnace that is filled with a lot of hot pressure, bro.
yeah,
You need to burn. You need to burn, bro. Before diamonds don't just fall. They have to go through a
yeah,
really
yeah. A really
extreme process.
process. Yeah.
So before you become refined, you have to go through pressure. So my take on this is depends on how you see pressure, like how you perceive pressure. Do you crave pressure or do you run away from it?
Yeah, I mean, like basically, what I got from what you say, like, is pressure in itself is good,
Yes.
right? What makes pressure bad is people's perception of it,
Yes.
right? Like in itself, pressure is like is a good thing. Like originally, like without what you think about it, it's just like fire will burn you, like
Mm.
irrespective of what you think it to do to you. It's just like
Yes.
pressure is a good thing,
Yeah.
right? Like irrespective of whatever you subject it to be like. It's now you now have to have the right interpretation of this pressure, right?
Yeah.
Because I recall Tony saying this thing. So yeah, pressure in itself is a good thing. It's not the way people perceive it. Like I was saying, I vividly recall Tony was saying that you shouldn't do things with pressure. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how to like and he made so much sense. Like I don't know how to like put that line between it.
Wait.
Like
Wait. What he's not talking about pressure. I think the right word to use here is called tension. Not to write exam with tension.
okay,
See, I'm a
tension.
basketball player.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Though I play basketball, my coach,
yeah.
he always says this, and this is something I always remind myself each time I'm on that court. That most time we do practice because we're training. He's trying to make us better players because
Yeah.
we're learning the basics and all that. So he says something during training. He's like, there's a thin line between training or practice and the game time. That thin line is called tension, not actually pressure. You get me? It's called, don't write exam with tension. Tension brings panic. And when you're in the state of panic, you can't think of you can't make like sanguine oh yeah, sanguine decisions.
Yeah, yeah.
So don't write exams with tension. The pressure is always there. It's about how you handle that pressure.
Yeah, yeah. It's like pressure is perfect, right? If you now like add a little bit to it, you
Mm.
enter inside tension.
Yeah.
So like it's just like it's as good as it needs to be. For example, like you're entering inside the exam hall, you know that you need to pass this exam and your dad is counting on you and all these things. Like
Yeah.
like it's that one now is enough. But if you spend 2 more minutes or 3 more minutes actually thinking about it, you might fall into tension. So
Yes.
like pressure and tension are just like they're just almost the same.
Same
So
thing.
you need to be very, very, very careful because I remember last semester all the exams that I wrote,
Yeah.
like all the exams that I wrote last semester, I refused to be. I don't know if I'll call it tension and pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Like I refused to be tensed. I refused to be pressured.
Yeah.
I entered inside the hall and I had this. I had this. I'll do my best, and
Whatever comes.
whatever comes. Like I refused to be
That you
pressured.
have this awareness that
Yeah, yeah, this awareness.
I have prepared for these
Exactly,
exams.
and,
My
and people will look at you and they'll be like, "Oh, BGS, you're not tense because you've read blah blah blah."
that's
Guy, it's not that is not basically the whole idea of not being tense. It's because logically speaking, it is better to not be tensed than to be tensed. Like I said, I
yes.
don't know, like I've told this to a lot of people. I deal with logic a lot in my life.
Yeah.
So like logically speaking, it is better to not be tensed than to be tensed because if you are tensed
Yeah.
you are not going to perform like people like okay also this thing about worry,
Yeah.
right? I don't worry, like I don't worry about things.
Yeah.
Oh, today is the last day of biometrics, I start panicking. Oh, today is the last day of this,
Yeah.
because logically speaking worrying, like trust me, if worrying could actually solve a problem, bro,
Yes.
you see me worrying from morning to night. like
Night.
like if it
Yes.
could actually solve
Solve
a
a
problem,
problem. It
but it can't.
it can't.
It will reduce your chances of actually solving that problem. So logically
Because
speaking, it's better for you to not just worry
yeah.
than to worry. But people tend to see that, oh, you're calm and you're this and you're
Yeah.
that and you're that. But like it's just a thing of logic.
Yeah.
Sure, you grab.
Like worry, you can associate it with like complaining.
Yes.
Complaining. Because like when you worry, you can't like come up with a solution. It's when same thing with complaining. When you complain, you're just saying, I'm not satisfied with this. Bro, what are you going to do to make yourself like to remedy your own satisfaction?
Mm.
When you worry, you're just going to have bad thoughts. But when you compose yourself, you calm down, you identify the problem,
Yes.
And then you now ask yourself, how can I solve it?
Yeah.
What are my options? What are the alternatives? Then you start thinking, reasoning.
Reasoning, yeah.
When you worry, you in the state of worry, or when the act of when you're complaining, you cannot do that. But when you compose yourself, actually, yes, compose. You have to compose yourself and like think of the solution. Something happened to me last ELS exams,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. I just thank God. I really thank God for what He did for me for that exam. I thought the exam lasted for 2 hours. I know lasted for 2 hours, yes, but I thought it was 2 hours 30 minutes. The, the exam required us to answer 3 questions. I exhausted 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes on one question. Then I heard the invigilator say 30 minutes remaining. I have 2 questions to answer. Bro,
It's 30 minutes left.
what is the natural response of a human being?
Tension, panic,
panic move. So I started getting those, I started feeling tensed. You know, it's like they inject some toxins into your body and all that. But guy, I told myself, like, I just had this awareness that, bro, if you panic, allow this panic to like consume you, bro, you're going to fail. But if you compose yourself and put down something reasonable on that paper, you have hope. You are better off than that person who panicked.
Yeah, that person who panicked.
So it's about composing yourself. Like, guy, think, use your bloody brain. Don't see. I learned. I just thank God for the kind of dad that I had, because I learned a lot from him. Brody, no matter how, you know, the way um normal homes are, there's no time that it's all good. There's always a problem. If you solve this one today, there's another one. If they fix borehole, tomorrow tap will spoil. If they fix the tap, the borehole will spoil. Something will just mess, like, go out of way. But what I've noticed, each time he finds out, each time we tell him, even when we're like at work, bro doesn't complain. He's just like, okay, we'll call it can you fix it, or we'll call a professional to come and do it. It's not about complaint, will not get you anything. It's about, okay, the problem have come. What matters at that point is, what is the solution? How can I solve this? Because you're not going to remedy anything by worrying or by complaining.
Yeah. Like, no, this thing is said. Like, you keep making reference to your dad, and your dad is actually a nice person. Like,
no,
he's a proactive thinker. He's what we call proactive. He's not reactive.
Yeah.
Light boy.
No.
Light boy. You separate himself from the problem.
Yes.
And then think of the solution.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot of self-awareness and self-mastery. Like people tend to think is in the big things.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's in this small, like, it's in these small things, like the way you respond to a problem.
Yeah.
You see the problem, you don't react to the problem. You push the problem a step back. You take a step back.
Yeah.
Then you think like outside the problem.
Yeah.
Guy, like, all these things, maybe it might seem like simple at first glance, but if you understand the kind of brain activities that went on, like, in that split second, you know that, man, it actually takes a lot. Like, why do you think that people fail exam? And I'm not talking about they didn't read and all this. I'm like, you know that very, very much well. There are people that do read.
Yeah.
Right. There are people that do read, and they do end up failing.
Yes.
Right. Why do you think these people fail though?
Why do I people? They don't satisfy the lecturer. You know, I mean, if we're talking about these law exams, I mean, most exams that's being marked by a human being, your score is dependent on what that person like wants. I mean, what he thinks, whether okay, this student wrote very well. You have to write to the lecturer states, and it's about, like, that's why you really need to study your lecturer. I've gotten the advice a lot. And like recently, like first semester, I was like, okay, someone asked me like, guy, which topic are you reading? I'll be like, maybe I'm reading social methods of social control. I'm calling the topic. But that's wrong. In university, if they ask you, guy, which topic are you reading? Guy, I'm reading Dr. Ekwelem's part. I did read for Ekwelem. Guy, I won't
Yeah,
go read
yeah,
for
yeah.
father. Bro, you're not reading the
You
topic
know,
is distance. Who you are focusing on is the lecturer. Study your lecturer. You need to be able to know, okay, is this the lecturer kind of lecturer that just wants to see what is inside the bloody textbook? Or is it a lecturer that wants some scholarship, some pizzazz for you to just use your own like beautiful wording to
yeah,
answer the question? Like now for Father Doctor, I mean no Father
Adrian,
Oswago,
yeah, for Adrian.
or Father Adrian. The guy doesn't like cramming, doesn't like pouring. If you are able to like craft your answers on point, too, you're answering the question correctly, but you're using your own wording. He loves that so much. And
Mm-hmm.
if you now add a little bit of sauce that's not vying out of the main topic, he would that's what he really loves, and you get his good score. You get an excellent score from his own part.
Okay, I first of all, I love that answer you gave. Right now, I want to ask you, like, is it the best way to to move about things? Yes, I don't understand that to pass an exam you need to satisfy that lecturer, not like from what you said, which makes so
Mm.
much sense. Like, it's not about how much you do understand the topic or how much you know or how much you researched. Is satisfying that lecturer. Now, like,
Yeah,
the question now is it actually like is it actually going to be like helpful, like
in life.
not passing exam type of helpful, like
Yes.
helpful like to you and to yourself when you go out there into the society? Like, how do you think that this thing is going to, because I mean, if I'm to answer that question, I'll come from the perspective of, if you learn how to satisfy a lecturer,
Yes.
right? If you go out there in society, you can learn how to
Satisfy.
satisfy maybe
Yeah.
your boss or the company you're working in or your customers or all these things. Like the skill of separating people in your mind and knowing
Yes.
what each of them want now is good. But like, I want to get from your own perspective, like, how practicable and how good do you think that this thing is in the outside world?
Uh, from what you said, I think how good is it? How
Yes.
good is it? Is good. Is beneficial. Is useful.
Yeah.
From a general perspective, is useful because that has to do with human psychology. That has to do with human psychology. Your ability to know somebody, like know how to handle a person, that can aid you in negotiations,
Yes.
persuasion.
Persuasion.
You
Yeah.
feel me? So if you are able, the thing is studying your lecturer and satisfying them for when you're writing exams is actually a skill. It takes skill to do that. It's
Mm,
not no dollar or somebody who's not smart can't do that.
mm.
Because you really need to study. You need to go around asking questions. You need to now, you know, think within yourself and like how like we refine all the information you've gotten and then know what you're going to use, the steps you're actually going to take
Yeah.
towards like preparing for your exams and all. So it's helpful because if I am able to like identify people's personality, people's um temp temperance,
Temperament.
temperament.
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you. If I'm able to identify people's temperament and be able to handle them individually to get what I want, that's you can call it manipulation, but it depends on how you use
How,
that skill.
yes, how you
So
use the
it's
skill.
actually helpful because it will help in negotiations and persuasion, which is one of the pivotal skills you have to have generally in life.
Mm, mm, mm. Well, we've come to the 30th minute of this podcast, and there's a new ritual we decided to start. We send in the topics a days before, and people send in their reviews and their comments. So I'm going to be starting with the first person, Chimeri Obu. He said, yes, it's a test of knowledge. I wish this person actually kind of expanded and gave me more substance to work with, but
Yes,
I respect everybody's perspective. And if maybe you do think it's a test of knowledge,
yes.
then you now have to define what knowledge is to you.
Is
You now
that's
have
the
to
thing
define what knowledge is to
because
you, because you can have the subjective meaning of knowledge, but the
the
real meaning of,
objective, what we're
yes,
working with,
exactly, the real meaning of knowledge here is the objective one, right?
yeah,
So yeah, I really
this goes
love
down to the
this
Socratic method.
this perspective.
Okay,
Stephen, if you don't mind, you read this second one. Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
Okay, we have Alexander
Xander, okay.
Xander Okulu.
Yeah.
So you say, well, is an exam a test of knowledge or just a pressure game? I once heard a quote that says, intelligence is the ability to scale through the top in any area of life,
Hmm.
in any environment, no
Hmm.
matter the availability of resources. Most times, people associate intelligence only with theoretical intelligence. But what about social intelligence, emotional intelligence, economic intelligence, and many other areas of life? Most schools only test for theoretical intelligence and judge people entirely by their capacity to cram textbooks. That is foolish.
Hmm.
Albert Einstein once said, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid.
Hmm. That's very
I
beautiful.
don't believe I don't believe examinations are just pressure games either, but they do teach you how to deal with pressure. And pressure is a big factor in our day-to-day lives.
Hmm.
Examination are tests of survival because I believe someone might not be the best in school, but his ability to survive in school shows that he has the intelligence to survive in other areas.
Hmm.
When he finally comes across his destined field, he will scale to the top. Man,
That
this was
that that
powerful.
this was very very powerful. Like that perspective of if you judge a fish by its ability to climb the tree. I mean
That's
that is basically a whole new that is basically a whole new well like I said is that was a like a whole new perspective. In fact, when I was even thinking about this topic, right, I never
yes,
thought about this thing. But when this review came in on 19th was yesterday,
yes.
like it just like opened another door
Mm,
of reasoning. That is why all these things you heard me saying about know your type of intelligence, know your type of intelligence, it
yeah,
was from this review that I actually got that knowledge.
yeah.
So like this review from Zanda, I think is very beautiful. Now over to the next person, Nana, a good friend of mine. He said exams are just unnecessary pressure to perform in something that not everyone is good at. I feel it's a mind game to pressurize people into changing their priorities and facing only on exams.
Mm,
That passing exams are the most important thing in the world.
mm,
They would tell us not to focus on money, but on books, which was written by people in the 20th century and won't have
mm.
anything to do or improve our lives. So yes, exams are pressure games to turn people into slaves. Wow,
Damn,
that was actually
damn.
very deep perspective. And personally, I'm not surprised because I know the person that wrote this thing. Like it's just this is just how he
Hmm,
thinks, right? And what he said about money and all these
this
things, all
thing
this,
is
yeah, it's a very unique perspective. Like it shows that at the end of the day, this pressure is not actual. Like the whole the so-called tension
mm,
and pressure and all these things.
yeah,
Like if your mindset is not fixed and reformed, something
yes,
like your mindset now, like if it's not fixed and reformed now, you're going to like anchor on the wrong thing. For
yeah,
example, somebody like you now, you see the pressure as a good thing, right?
yes,
So you're not doing it for the exam, you're doing it for you.
yeah,
Like you're eating off the exam, so you don't
yes.
care what it's doing to you. But people are now going with this backdoor mentality and seeing exam as everything. But Nana is basically telling us that okay, this thing is not actually everything because there are a lot of things that they are not teaching us, right? And
Yes.
we have another one from
Wait, I'd like to talk more on this.
okay.
Uh, I love his perspective. I love his
Yeah.
perspective, and this line of thinking has even like come to me like exams are everything.
Yeah.
It's going to make you shift your priorities. Like now, I haven't hooped in a while
Yeah, 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 yeah,
because of
yeah. Course of
exam.
exam.
Things you will normally do, you will have to put them off in order for you to like prepare for this exam.
Exactly. Yeah, man.
And if you pass it, you don't pass it. Will it help you? The thing is, if you pass the exam, it gets you the grade, and the grades, not in all circumstances, but like it gives you an edge if you know people. You feel me? If you have like the
Yeah.
opportunity, it gets you the grades, and the grades can open doors for you.
You know personally,
Yeah.
this thing about like having connections and all these things, like I see it as a very big BS. Like, because
Yes.
bullshit. Because
Yeah.
I mean, is your purpose in life to like
Yeah, Lord.
get good grades and then have connections that put you inside an office?
Shit, yeah.
Like, man, like
Yeah.
you might tell me that you have connection, but like, is connection everything?
No.
Connection is not like what are you about? Like what is that thing that makes you you? That is
Mm.
basically what I'm not personally when I'm talking to someone, I'm not even like, I don't care about how much money you have or I'm just like, what makes you you? Have you defined yourself? Have you given yourself boundaries? Have you done some certain kind of things? Because man, you're telling me that okay, is that grades are good only when you have connections, but like, even if you do have connections, is that why you were brought here on earth?
No.
That is basically not why we were brought here on it. I think in the last podcast I said it. I said, okay, not in the last podcast. I was telling a friend of mine. I think that God cannot do everything. Like even if he can do everything by himself, I don't think he would. That is why he created man. Like our major purpose here on earth, from my own perspective, is to be fruitful and multiply, which is
Yes.
to create, to innovate, to
Yes.
make, to expand, to build. Because God is not going to be doing all these things. He
Yeah.
needs man to do it. But
Yes.
when you just enter inside the world and you're basically just a consumer of what
Mm.
people are doing,
Doing.
and
Yeah.
like you're not consuming it to like actually refine and produce, you're
Produce.
just consuming it to eat it and sit on it. I
And
feel like that is basically like not a good way of
living.
living. Yeah. So let's get over to the next person. Chineye Akuna. Stephen,
Wow.
kindly read it.
Man, this is long.
I swear.
I've wondered about it too. I've thought of whether we place too much premium on examination. I see the grade C students succeeding outside the school setting, and many A students flop in the real world. In quotes, crazy. Exams are often hailed as the ultimate measure of intelligence and understanding. The A students are labeled smart, brilliant, intelligent, but are they really? Are they really? Is passing exams all there is to be intelligent? So those are questions. We rarely, if ever, deal with plain options in life. Exams don't really capture the depth of a person's knowledge. Yes, they test memory under pressure, but the mastery that's needed to succeed in the world outside school will not always be determined by the best grades. Of course, exams aren't the true test of knowledge, at least from observation. I don't think so. Time, a- time and again, it's been proven that being able to regurgitate information on a sheet of paper within a timed setting doesn't necessarily mean one knows it.
Yeah.
Many students can cram the night before, pass with flying colors, and a week later they have forgotten everything. On the other hand, some deeply knowledgeable students may perform poorly simply because they struggle with stress, pressure, or anxiety. Despite these flaws, exams remain the foundation upon which many society evaluates learning. They offer a standardized way of checking what students have retained, but not necessarily what they have understood. I believe that knowledge is not best revealed in an exam hall. No, it is in application that knowledge is proved. Yeah. In solving problems, creating new ideas, and consistently demonstration of mastery over time. Maybe the question isn't whether exams should exist, but whether they should be the primary yardstick for measuring intelligence. After all, the world outside the classroom rarely asks us to choose between A, B, C, or D. It asks us to think, innovate, and apply. Sincerely, Chineye Akuna.
Well,
That,
that was actually
bro,
beautiful.
bro.
You know what I took from this whole thing? That line of you can actually cram something,
Yeah,
enter the hole,
word.
pour it, and pass with flying colors. Now, it's basically going down to the fact that school rewards, like what school is rewarding now? Like, is there any place you can tell me that will actually reward you for actually just cramming and pouring the knowledge. Like maybe it's just me. I don't know if you can, but like I don't think there's any real value in
Yeah.
that thing.
Yeah.
But like school is actually rewarding things that are valueless.
They
And,
reward
and, and like she said, they're not checking your how well you understood it.
students
They're just checking your ability to cram and memorize. She
for
grab
real.
like man, this perspective was actually very, 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 very beautiful. She
Ah,
said that the real world doesn't tell you to choose between A, B, C, or D. They tell you to think,
you know,
create, innovate, and apply. Man,
bro.
that is it. That is
Like
just it.
now, like what the last thing about this think, create, and apply. I want to reference the Bible.
Yeah.
Like in the Bible, mostly around everywhere in the Bible, you always see the word understanding. The Bible says that a man who has understanding is like a man who builds his house on a solid, firm rock, on a sturdy foundation.
Yeah.
People from the Western conception of what understanding is, they interpret it as the ability to grasp a piece of information, knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
just to grasp it. But the Bible was written by Hebrew. It's written from Hebrew thought. So from Hebrew thought, right, what understanding means is the ability for you to grasp a piece of knowledge and apply it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've heard that thing before.
So coming from Hebrew philosophy,
Yeah.
when you see understanding in the Bible, or like when they are talking about understanding, if like you have grasped a piece of knowledge but you have not applied it, you have not understood that thing.
That thing, yes.
Understanding is complete once you have applied.
Yes. And school rarely tells you to apply.
School don't teach you. School is just, I don't want to like disdain school or anything, because school is actually like has a lot of advantages, but like exams, like which is like the main bone of contention in this talk,
Yeah.
it's exactly what she said. It's not really a test of knowledge that will really help you out there. She said something that these people who get C's, they are doing outside, and she have seen A students being flopped.
Yes.
Like there's a lot
like it's basically because they honed the wrong skills.
Yeah.
Like they honed the wrong skills. And when they got outside into the real world didn't value the skills they were holding. It was just a four-cornered building that did. And now they're outside that four-cornered building, and they can't like see anybody that will actually value these skills that they have. So like there's something I said on the last podcast, and I really believe in this thing. Like I believe that okay, if you are actually after a course that you are studying, right? First of all, you ask yourself 5 years from now, with the speed, like with the way the world is changing now, 5 years from now, would that course still be in the market? Would that job space still be in the market? Now when you now answer that question now, and the answer is no, what you then do is not to drop out of school now. It is to now be the only lawyer that you know law and you also know JavaScript, or you know law and you also know how to like you just need to have like two complementary skills that will put you above every other person. Because if you just have law or accounting or whatever you have, like the marketplace is not going to value you. Like they'll basically not value you. And even if you do get a job with another lawyer, you can't compare how much they're paying you as a lawyer that understands a large language model like ChatGPT or Grok or all these things. And like it's just like basic, like ask yourself this question: this thing I'm studying, is it going to be available in the market space 5 years from now?
How profitable?
Exactly. Because with the speed, like the way the world is changing fast,
bro.
Like fast, like
really fast,
fast. Man, I don't even want to like, bro, like just there are some basic questions I feel we should ask ourselves. Okay, this is the last review from Chinaza Euphemia. She said, it all depends on the angle you are studying from. Some people study basically for the knowledge, while some study in order to scale through in exams. Wow. This is okay. Wait, let me finish first. Some read and understand whatever they have read, while some others memorize mostly with the intent of passing alone. In brackets, this they do at times unconsciously. In as much as the school system is tailored not to enable students actually practice and digest, but instead to do whatever it takes to get to get the end result, which is a good certificate. Some students have conditioned themselves in such a way that they grab the certificate and the knowledge at the same time. At the same time, they read because they want to know and not necessarily because there's an exam approaching. Hence, you won't compare the pressure of this group of students encounter with the pressure of those that read with the read to pass exam mindset. In conclusion, the school system notwithstanding, a lot depends on student approach towards the system. Exam is a test of knowledge to some and a pressure game to others,
Mm.
according to the way they approach the system. Besides, without exams, how do you know that you have really read? I'm going to answer this question. It just boils down back to that thing you said.
Yeah.
Apply.
Yes.
Apply. Like
Yes.
apply. Like you don't like necessarily need an exam to grasp and understanding. Like you see, just the
Yes.
Hebrew definition of understanding is
That's what I'm using here.
yes, apply. Just apply. How, like, the question was, without exams, how do you know what you have really read? Apply. The reason why I said that first time, because this our first sentence, it all depends on the angle you are studying from.
Yes.
Some people study basically for the knowledge, while some others study in order to scale through exams. Now, this perspective was something I never saw, and I don't know if you did see it, but I know I never saw
Yeah.
it. Like now she's now coming from this angle of, like, nobody touched this angle for the past like 40 minutes. Like, she's coming from this angle of, it is not what we are saying it is. It is what you, the individual, is saying it is. So
Yeah.
now, are you reading for knowledge,
Yeah.
or are you reading for to pass? Now,
Yeah.
so the well, I think this is actually very, very nice. This is a brand new perspective, like, and it's clean and it's nice and it's sweet. Like,
Yeah.
it's actually very nice. Like, she's not saying that it is anything.
Yeah.
Unlike other people that were saying that it is this or it is that or it is
Yeah.
that. Well, not that they're wrong, but like, she's not saying it is anything.
Anything.
She's just asking you, what angle are you coming from?
What's
Then
your
that is now what shapes the truth of whether it is this or whether it is that, or whether it is this or whether it is that. But when this perspective was actually
I
very,
know.
very
Did
good.
you do this intentionally, like to make this review on this the last?
No, it's just how they sent it. We started from first, second,
I think
third,
this
fourth.
was fake.
like how it sent it,
Because
like, yeah.
I agree with this perspective,
Yeah.
because it depends on your approach.
Mhm.
Before you can now say it is this, is that, exactly what you say. Because there are students who, like, once they grasp the piece of knowledge and they know, okay, I can apply this, they don't give a shit about the exams. Like, nowadays, and there are people who, like, if they understand it, like, they don't even care about understanding. They just want to cram that. Okay, if this exam requires me to cram, I'll do it, and in order for me to pass the exam, to scale through, as she said.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't really. It's dependent on the person's view. Like, now, there are people who, now, due to the fact that they want to read to understand, so that they can apply, right? They don't see exams as, like, they don't
like care about exams that much.
Exams too
Like
much.
not that they don't care, but like, they're not that pressured or tensed, or because what they're actually looking for is the real stuff, right? Read and apply.
Yeah.
And unless you can give them that scenario where they actually have to apply,
Yes.
right, then their default is now exam.
Yes.
Which isn't supposed to be. I mean, if I built a school, I mean, I have a vision to, like, recreate school.
Wow.
Like, I want to, like, recreate the school system, but, like,
Beautiful.
that is, like, if I'm to do this thing, like, number one, my idea of school is, like, school itself. Personally, I love school, but like the meaning of school has been tarnished by this current system.
Yeah.
Because personally, I love school, but like, sometimes when you hear me talk, I sound like an anti-school advocate. It's not just,
Yes.
I'm not an anti-school advocate. I love school. I love, because it's in this school I met so many people. It's in this school I started so many things. So, like,
Yes.
I love the idea of school. Now, if I was to create a school now, it's basically going to be read and apply. Like, for example, like, we'll be giving people, like, actual projects. Like, start a business, and in 6 months the valuation of that business should be $2,000 to $3,000. And then when let's say you do it, and maybe it ends up being at $700, and you're just 14, 15 years old. Like,
Yes.
imagine, like, and like, in your mind you be like you failed, but then you know you didn't fail. We now help you. Like, this is the idea of school. Like, for me, this is just the idea of school. Like giving people practical things to go out there into the world and do. and
Yes.
fail at it so much. Like if I, and another thing, if I do create a school, like I'm going to like this, the meaning of failure. I'm going to like restructure it
Structure
in
it.
people's minds.
Yes.
Like if you're not failing,
You're
then that
not
is when you are now failing.
the true failure is not to try at all, bro.
Yes, yes.
That's
So
the true
when
failure.
you're failing, like it will be
You
considered you get grades for failing. Like
for
I'll just like
that's
I'll just
great,
like change the
bro.
entire meaning of school. Like
That's it.
this last perspective was actually very, 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 very nice, man. I really loved it. So I think that we've come to the end of this podcast. Stephen, thank you once again for agreeing to be a guest on this show. It
Thank
has
you
been
for
an honor
calling
for
me over
everybody.
here, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was somehow like at the last minute, but you showed up, man. I really, really appreciate. Well, if you have any comments, reviews, or questions, our comment box are always open. See you on the next episode. Peace out.